Hi Kaz,
Hi Jackie.
welcome back again. So we're going to start our third session now, okay, with the 15 minutes. And your last session we were talking about, some of the transitions that you're thinking about at the moment and what you felt you'd achieved, and thinking about, the eggs in the basket and your family and how important relationships and friendships were to you. And I felt you were just beginning to sort of focus on where you thought you might be going in the future.
Yes.
So would that be a good place to sort of start here?
That would be
in
really
this
useful,
one? Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So it's a big word, the future, isn't it?
Very big.
what does that do for you when we, it feels like it's in capital letters here at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's capital letters with a couple of exclamation marks at the end as well. It feels very...
What are those exclamation marks meaning, I wonder?
Oh, what do they mean? Maybe that's a little bit of the fear, I think, the exclamation marks about, well, what would the future look like? Because, as I said in my last session, there's a definite sense of not wanting to go back and be so rigid in my thinking that only work and career can bring me achievement in any sense. But also at the same time recognising that I want to play, a valid role in the workplace, but maybe a little bit more on my terms so I can balance all my other interests, relationships a little bit more fruitfully.
So I wonder what your terms would mean.
My terms.
Yeah. It's a big one, isn't it?
It is a big one, because very much for me it's a process of having control, having a sense of the ability to use time effectively, to have time for all the different components of my life rather than just one, and be absolutely focused in that. So having that control, I think, is really important to me.
So control about where and how you spend your time, and components. I was interested in that word. What would that mean to you?
Just having...
Have you thought about your components, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit to do with what you were saying about the basket, with the friends and the family relationships, but also activities that whether it's a simple walk in the park with the dog, or, going to the gym or going to a class, or where I choose to a certain extent. I know there's not absolute free choice, but I like the feeling I have at the minute that I have choice and that I have options, and I want to, and that's really important to me. So that's what control means to me. It isn't. It's about not always. Again, phrase jumping in, but dancing to somebody else's tune.
Yeah.
And I have a very strong sense at the minute. At the minute, I'm partly self-employed and partly employed. And I think increasingly I will probably move towards self-employment entirely.
How does
Maybe.
that? Yeah. So moving towards self-employment would be an option that you would like to fulfil in some way.
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
Is that? This could be a personal response. Like scary comes to mind. I don't know if that.
Oh yes, absolutely. Especially coming from a background where I've worked in either a school or a local authority within a public sector institution. I don't know. I don't know at the minute. That's the thing.
Yes,
I don't know.
yes.
I'm really I can see the benefits of both.
But I suppose that's what's useful out here, is just thinking and exploring the space for you, if you like. And it feels like it is a challenge, this exploration in itself, maybe.
Yes, it is.
pinpointing exactly.
Absolutely,
is.
and it's starting to, I mean, something this session sort of raising for me is that there needs to be more of that. There needs to be, well, pinning down, well, what is this fear over here, and what am I hanging on to, what are the components, the elements that maybe stop me moving on, or that I have to consider a little bit. Just seem to be in a little bit of a soup, maybe at the minute with it all. But it's okay to be like that as well. And it's a funny thing, as I'm talking, I'm saying to myself, it's actually okay not to make a decision as yet, because that's taken me a long time to get to, actually, to say, it's okay to think about things, it's okay to try things out, it's okay to not by Monday 12 o'clock have that diarised and scheduled, and that's the thing you're going to do. Because that's actually quite important for me.
Yeah.
I've done that.
But that feels like it's a real achievement.
That is, it's another egg in that basket,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah,
Absolutely, it
really.
is.
Yeah.
It is actually in itself, and that's really important. That is really important to have done that.
Can you, are you the sort of person, Kaz, that can feel quite, I feel like chuffed is the word I'm looking for, pleased with yourself for reaching that point, if you like, recognising it as a positive, real positive for you?
Absolutely, yeah. Because I think for so much time I would have seen that as maybe a self-indulgent way to think, oh, how terribly indulgent of you to think in that way. And I would have criticised probably and made judgments either on myself or other people for actually, I would go, oh, for goodness sake, get on with it. You know, if you're going to do something, go and do it. There's real impatience to myself that I really feel has been really important in my life, to control and use in a different way and use that energy differently.